Welcome you guys out here to your Pro Motocross press conference. We'll go ahead and introduce our top three from today. Fellas, come on up to the table. We'll get you. There's Chance Hymas, your top three. Again, Ty Masterpool taking first place. Hayden Deegan with your second place finish, and Chance Hymas, your third in the OA. So we'll let the fellas take a seat, and we'll start opening it up. Man, we got to start, I think, with Ty Masterpool, man. First of all, congratulations. You've had a few minutes to think about that overall win. Number 300 for you, your first one, man. Walk us through how special this is.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing, it's been a rough 3 to 4 years, and just believed in the team that I had around me and kept my head down and believed in God's timing and all that. But, yeah, just big shout out to my physical trainer, Peter Parker, my dad, my mom, everyone just sticking behind me, Dylan Walker. Kept my head above water for the last 3 years, and yeah, God's good. It's been a rough couple years, that's for sure, but yeah.
Hey, the first one's the hardest, right? In racing, it's all about, like, what have you done for me lately? Obviously, enjoy this one. There's no doubt about that, letting it sink in. Man, how do you back this up, come out here in a couple of weeks and go out and perform?
Yeah, biggest thing, just looking forward to getting right back to work on Monday, and yeah, still getting used to the bike, and biggest thing, I haven't rode a bike like this where I have so much room for improvement. I can feel it when I'm riding, and lots of room for improvement. So I'm just very excited to get right back to work and work my butt off. And yeah, it's going to be a good little off weekend. Unfortunately, I haven't really had a boot camp or anything. I got my appendix removed, a whole bunch of random stuff. Like during Supercross, I tore my calf going up a face of a jump because of all the antibiotics that was in my systems and just a lot of freak stuff. So yeah, I haven't got a boot camp in or anything like that, so just kind of racing my way into shape and all that, so yeah.
Hey, Ty, love it, man. We're going to open it up to the crowd here. Chance, I wanted to throw one at you, man. Solid riding today. Obviously, I don't think maybe the finish, I could tell by the body language, man. You wanted more out of today. Really seemed determined in that second moto, man. Walk us through your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying, just lacking a little bit of speed. You know, I was struggling with some line choice, and these two were getting me pretty good. So, I mean, overall, I'm just happy to be back up on the box and up front again. And, yeah, just trying to stay in the fight as much as I can and, you know, run up front with these guys. But, I mean, overall, I'm happy. Just want to work on some things and get better. But, I mean, yeah, overall, we're happy.
All right, we'll get to Hayden Deegan here in just a moment, man. He had a fun post-race or post-Moto 1 interview where, man, he said Hymas thought he had it. I got the best of him, man. Did that motivate you? Did you even know those comments were made prior to Moto number 2?
Nah, I mean, I didn't hear anything, but I mean, he rode really good, and I was struggling a little bit. So, just need to figure out the first motos a little bit better. But I mean, yeah, overall, we'll figure it out.
Hey, good day, man. All right, Hayden Deegan, Danger Boy, man. Obviously, getting shuffled back early in both motos. Made the little mistake there in the second one. Didn't matter, dude. You went to work. What was going on inside the helmet out there?
Yeah, first moto on the start wasn't great. I think on the first lap, someone said I was like 27th or something, and then, yeah, I just balls to the walls the whole race. I knew it was a technical track, so I just kind of let the guys come to me, and yeah, made passes, and 2 laps to go. I seen Tyne, I was like, I got to give it everything I got, and we definitely took it down to the wire with 2 laps to go, and then pretty much almost the same exact thing in the second moto. Was like 4th, fell again. And then a good thing I fell, and I was like, well, at least I know I can make my way back up because I did it once. So I was just like, got to lock back in, go, and yeah, last lap got up to Ty, and yeah, he got the win.
All right, guys, I'm gonna open it up to you guys. Questions? Anybody got a hand?
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports. Starting off with Ty, obviously. Was your mechanic making you aware of what the gap was? And what were the nerves like over those last couple of laps in each of those motos?
Yeah, he was actually. I need to get a little bit better looking at the pit board every lap. I was missing it quite a bit, but no, I just kept my head down. Just me versus me out there and just trying to ride the track. And yeah, like 3-4 laps to go, it was kind of like sinking in a little bit, but I was like, I'm after titles and all that, so I was like, I get used to it and just focused on myself and rode, and yeah.
And can you talk just a little bit about how special it is to be the rider, the new guy on the block, to give them their 300th win?
Yeah, I actually didn't know it until right after, and that's awesome. Big honor, and just big thank you to the whole team, Mitch, Ian, Dave, all of them. It's definitely not just me out there. It's a whole army of them behind it, and shows you how much a factory bike helps and all that. So, yeah, big thank you to all of them.
And for Hayden, what's it like having to come through the field like that, passing as many riders as you had to pass? How do you keep your focus lap after lap, passing a variety of talent on your way to the front?
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of just a Hail Mary. You honestly just, it's kind of nice coming from like the back though. Sometimes you can see where people are so slow, like in the lines, you can find faster lines. So when you're up front, sometimes it's a little hard to get out of your line choice because you're kind of scared to like lose time. But yeah, when I was made my way up and yeah, got her done.
So getting pushed into those other lines, was that part of what generated a little more speed in the closing laps?
Yeah, definitely. I could see where people were losing time, and yeah, I had to ride my heart out. That was probably the fastest I've ridden a dirt bike in a long time, if not the fastest I've ever ridden. And yeah, definitely a lot of the riders, sometimes you get to a guy and you know how they're going to ride you, or the guys that will fade a little bit, or this guy would be a little more aggressive, so kind of pick and choose how to pass most of the guys.
And for Mr. Hymas, I think this is a perfect record of top fives for the season. Still, do you feel like you might be a little overlooked, or do you think you're getting the respect and the attention that you deserve?
Yeah, I still got room to improve, and I still got to earn it. It's I got 5 good races going, or 4 good races going so far, but it's been a struggle for my whole career right now. So yeah, I'm trying to get myself established, and I gotta keep doing what I'm doing. So.
And obviously you're on one of the bikes that the Lawrences were on last week, so they're big shoes to fill. Does that make any difference whatsoever in the growth that you've shown this year?
Yes and no, but the Lawrences ride the way they do, and I ride the way I do. It's different, but finally got the bike working good for me, and yeah, we're figuring it out.
Jim Kimball with Motocross Action for Ty. Having the day like you did and the 2 motos you did, what did you learn today? What's your big kind of takeaway from today?
Wasn't really just one. I think the biggest thing, just focusing on myself, just me versus me, and me versus the track, and just let the results fall, not really think about it, and just focus on that in the big picture. Felt like I could have pushed it a little bit more to pass him back, but and looking long term and into the big picture, I don't want to risk it and do something stupid and go down and etc. So yeah, it obviously hurt a little bit. Wanted to go 1-1 that first one, but no, I just kept my head screwed on, rode solid, and yeah, I felt like could have gone here or there, but yeah, just looking into the big picture.
Just a quick one for Chance. Chance, you've had an impressive outdoor series so far, in particular the last 2 weekends. Do you feel like now you're one of the guys?
Yeah, I definitely do feel like I'm one of the guys. I'm got myself established as second in points right now. Got to find some speed and just be a little bit smarter to get Hayden. But it's going to be tough. He's good, and especially Ty coming up now, it's going to be hard. And yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out, trying to get smarter, trying to get faster. Everyone's doing the same thing, so it's going to be a battle all summer. But yeah, I'm just stoked to be in the position I am, and yeah, keep going.
Hey, Mitch Kundra from Racer X. Ty, let's start with you. Obviously, when you got this fill-in deal, you were with the HBI team, and they kind of helped propel you last year. Thinking a couple years ago when you had your star ride and that went away, you kind of bounced around. Did you ever think you'd be on a factory team again?
Yeah, for sure. I'm not here to participate. I want to be the best and all that, so I just believed in the team around me, believed in my training program. That's why I'm based in Texas and all that, just all for the best circumstances and the best for my training. So, yeah, obviously it was very rough 3 to 4 years. I repeat myself a lot, but yeah, it was lots and ups and downs and all that. But I think just hard work pays off, and just believing in your team around you and all that.
And I think it was 2020. You led a couple laps of Redbud, got a whole shot, and a couple laps led there. I guess how much did you like feel a big difference today versus back then? Like just you as a rider, just how much you've grown since then?
Grown a lot, and yeah, I mean, big scene just helps so much having a huge team behind you, always having eyes on you, always making small changes to the suspension, and just just really shows how good these factory teams are, all of them, and a lot of respect for all of them, and yeah, just big thank you to all of them. It's not just us riders out there, it's a whole army of them behind us, so yeah, big thank you to the whole pro circuit team.
Yeah, and then like I said, big shout out to the HBI guys. Just can you talk a little bit about how you? I know they put out an Instagram video kind of talking about how you were really respectful and when the fill-in ride came about. Can you just talk about that, like that process of going back and forth with them a little bit?
Yeah, big thank you to Matt and Darla who own HBI. But yeah, I was with them for right around a year. So I started with them, I think it was right after Thunder Valley last year. But yeah, very good people, and it's really cool to see people like that. They're really interested in just the riders and seeing what's best. I mean, whenever I told them the news that Mitch called and I wanted to see if it was okay with them and all of that, they were happy. I mean, they're really just want what's best for the riders, and yeah, just can't thank them enough. And
then one for Chance real quick. Obviously, you did well here last year. I think then the week after this is when you had that knee injury. Is it that was a big ride for you last year at the point too? Is it like looking back to last year, you've taken a big step in growth, but it's like you're also still hungry? And kind of how do you manage like knowing where you came from last year, but also wanting to get better still?
Yeah, I mean, it's just believing that I can run up front with these guys, and I feel like I'm finally starting to believe that I can. And yeah, the work never stops. It's tough, and yeah, just continuing to build each week and not giving up.
And then were these conditions like similar to what you rode back when you were growing up, or what kind of how did do these conditions? What does it compare to where you were used to riding back in amateur days and all that?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of grew up riding more ruddy conditions. Today I oddly kind of struggled for some reason, but yeah, I mean, I like tracks that are more ruddy, but obviously I struggled. And Lakewood last year was kind of represent that with how ruddy it was, but yeah, I mean, just got to figure some stuff out.
Ty, congratulations on your first win. My question's for Hayden. You say a lot of stuff that catches a lot of attention. Some people, I know you catch a lot of crap for it on social media, and my question is, do your sponsors or parents, does anybody tell you to tone it down, or do they encourage it, or they just don't say anything about it?
Yeah, definitely. I like it that way. I like the controversy. That's sweet. So if I can, after every race, get the people talking, why not? Especially when you're winning, you can back it up. That's all. It'd be a different story if I couldn't back up my talk, but since I can go out there and back it up most of the time, I feel like I kind of have the right to say what I want on the mic sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I'm an adult now, so I mean, obviously my dad, he's meta-malicious, so he don't really care.
All right, and then I have a question for Chance as well. Last year you did really well here, and so you've led a substantial amount of laps here at High Point now. Do you feel like coming back here this year, you were able to get did you have more confidence here because of your ride last year, or do you think it was maybe boosted by your performance previous this year, or a little bit of both?
Yeah, I'd say more relating to how I've been doing this year than last year. I think last year I had a good ride up front, but I made a lot of mistakes, and I think I went 8, 5, or 6 overall. So definitely riding the coattail of my year going so far. So no, just I'm on a good run right now for me, and just trying to keep it going and be consistent.
Thanks, guys.
All right, anybody else? No? Good. All right, we're money. You guys are free. Thank you so much. That'll wrap things up for the 250 side. We'll reset with our 450 riders here in just a moment. Thank you, fellas. Shout out to you guys for stopping by and shooting the breeze with us for a little bit. So we'll take a short little break. We'll be right back just a moment. All right, folks, we're going to get things underway here. We got 2 of our 3. We're going to take it some extra activities, I guess, post-race here for you guys today. But I want to welcome you guys out here, 450 post-race press conference here. We'll open things up. I'm going to start with Hunter. Hunter, I heard you mention in between the last race and this one, hey, points lead is awesome, right? You want those wins. I still eluded you this weekend, man. How you feeling about today's race, and what's the expectation going in with a week off going into the next round?
Yeah, it was still a good day. Obviously, I would have liked to have capitalized a bit better in the second moto. Just didn't quite have the flow and the feeling from the first one, which happens. You have those days. So from my point of view, not really stoked on my second moto, and it was with third. So yeah, we'll just take it on the chin and have a good week off. That'll be cool. And yeah, come out for Southwick, right?
That's it. All right, hey, week off. What are the plans on the week off? Is it go back to work? Do you have a couple of days in there where you get to do something for Hunter Lawrence?
No, everyone's in the same boat. It's pretty much go back to work. I think the highlight is not having to go to an airport on a Thursday or Friday, and just lazy Sunday. We actually got a flight tonight, so just every morning's always wake up and go. So it's nice to kind of have a slow morning and just a coffee and enjoy just easing into the day.
All right, Chase, we'll open it up to you, and then we'll open it up to everybody to ask some questions here, man. Obviously, tough day for you. Not the necessarily the result you wanted. The win right there. A couple of little wad-ups, little crashes here and there. Man, how do you recover from this, bounce back? Obviously, some frustrations expressed on the podium as well.
Yeah, just get a little reset. It's nice to have a week off. Yeah, honestly, I need to reset. These last 2 weekends I've been just not fully myself. Second moto was a lot better. I felt pretty good. Just 2 stupid crashes and pretty dumb, honestly. So yeah, I feel like the speed second moto was good. We changed a lot on the bike, and yeah, we still got a lot of work to do. So stay off the ground and just honestly rest these next couple weeks. I would obviously train, but really take some time to kind of reset and come out swinging. These next 4 races are going to be really important, and yeah, make it happen.
Make it happen. All right, let's open it up to you guys. Who's first? There you go.
Jim Kimball with Motocross Action. First for Chase. You mentioned you're disappointed, but that second moto was awesome, and you kind of came not from the back, but from a little bit back. Do you kind of have some good takeaways from today?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's. I mean, from the first moto to the second moto, it was like a different person. So that was nice. But yeah, just being on the ground twice they were just dumb crashes. They were in turns with no ruts, and it was a pretty rutted track. So I just, yeah, not stoked on that. But obviously the riding was better. I felt I had a good flow, and I wasn't really like pushing, which was weird. I had these weird crashes, but I wasn't really pushing. I felt in my comfort zone and just having stupid mistakes. So clean those up. That was the most frustrating part. But yeah, I guess the speed's good, which is good. But yeah, I gotta fix those dumb problems.
Just a quick question for Hunter. Hunter, obviously you've had a lot of success in the 250 class. But already, like in the 450, you're like one of the guys. Did you expect to be this good so quick in the 450s?
No, I don't know. I mean, you always want to be good, but like preseason at the training facility, going fast there, and then doing it at a race is 2 different things. So you never really know until you know. So yeah.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports. And to follow up on that just a little bit for Hunter, I think your worst finish is a 4th. Everything else has been podiums. What is the difference between the end of the Supercross season and Motocross season? Is it the style of racing? Is it the comfort level? Did you learn something in between there? What's going on?
I mean, I was progressing through Supercross, I think it's safe to say that I had some really good rides and stuff and was just maybe a 0.5% or 1% off of being really good, so I wouldn't say it was a failure, I sucked, but now it's just, I don't know, a little more room to stretch the legs, I don't know, I'm just riding, I don't really care or think about anything else or how I'm doing or whatever, like, the guy that goes 1-1, he still works during the week. So if it's a 6-7, you still work during the week. So, I mean, it's like no difference, It doesn't change me as a person or who I am as an athlete. Like, I'm always just going to keep working. And and number 18's the same, you know. So it's just it's our job and it's what we do. So I don't really kind of think about it, you know, if I'm good or not. Like, I'm okay with whatever outcome, because regardless, I'm just going to keep working still.
Do you feel more comfortable on motocross than you did in supercross, though? Or do you perhaps feel more comfortable because the results have been all podiums?
No, I think just more comfortable with the bike. I mean, it's no secret, like, supercross on a 450 is a completely different thing, you know, as it is outdoors. But, I mean, there's no room for error on a supercross track on that beast of a thing. And that's a lot of motorcycle to take around a track squeezed into a stadium, you know. So yeah, I think that's just the difference. And we were still searching for stuff in supercross to get a good setting, and we just have a really good setting right now in outdoors where we're able to ride and just really adapt to the bike.
And for Chase, this week was markedly different from last week. The results were kind of night and day. What's mentally most successful for you? Being harsh on yourself for the mistakes that you make, or looking at the improvement and internalizing that instead?
No, definitely both. I think one thing that I've done this year, which I haven't done in the past, is I've always kind of looked at the negative, and this year, especially in Supercross, there was a lot of negative. So I was able to find the positives, and I think for me, the negative is what drives me, but it also can be a bad thing if you focus on it too much. So, yeah, today was a lot better. I just need a little bit of a reset, to be honest. And I think this week off is good. And I'm just gonna go back to work and go back and, like Hunter said, not having to fly out next weekend is nice. Have a little more time at home and just really focus on what I need to do. And for me, that's just resetting and coming back for these next 4 rounds. So take the positives and fix the negatives, kind of thing.
Thank you.
All right, Michael Antonovich with Swap Moto Live. Hunter, for you, first moto you're on your brother. It's a great battle all the way. Last lap, you guys are within bike lengths of each other, but not really a chance with the traffic to make a move. So how was the last lap from your perspective to be in that?
There was only 2 really spots that I kind of saw as a possibility. Where we went on that roller on the jump there, and maybe I was a little nicer on that single there. But that was one, and then maybe, you know, something down the hill. I had that inside before the finish line, but it's tough because it's like racing yourself, you know, and you both have a similar race plan strategic-wise and stuff. So, you know, you flash back to 2022 where it was like we just kept passing each other back. You know, one guy's in front, the rider behind learns, makes the pass, and then it gets harder and harder because you just find out where the best lines are, where he's better, where he's not, and stuff like that. And it's just like you kind of morph into it. So, yeah, there was a bit of strategy in that one. Didn't work out, but, we'll keep at it.
Chase, for you, second moto, you had the issues that you did have, but you still made a big push in the last lap to get as close as you could. So what was the motive behind that? Just to go prove that you could do it, just to get it out for the day?
Well, that, and I knew Hunter was behind me. I didn't really know how close he was. Every time I passed a lapper, I'd hear their bike. I didn't know who it was. I was just kind of like, I'm going forward. And, like I said, I felt really good on the bike on the second moto. Like, it wasn't like I was pushing over the limit. When I was riding, I felt like I was going fast, and it was fairly easy. So, it wasn't like I was trying to get closer because he was pretty far gone, obviously. But it was just riding to my ability and trying to navigate the track and focus on myself.
Okay. We know that you've been learning about the bike all year. As we get to these East Coast tracks, are you expecting a big breakthrough, or is it just another weekend of progress and take it for what it is?
I think being on this bike, the softer tracks, I think is a good thing for me. Going to Southwick, Redbud, Millville, those ones that are softer and sandier, I think it's going to be good. But we'll see. It's a new bike. You don't really know. But I'm definitely looking forward to that. Going to be riding some sand, obviously, these next couple weeks, and get comfy on the scoop tire and see what we got.
Hunter, we hear it week in and week out. You don't really have expectations. You focus on the process and not the outside noise of expectations or pressure or even maybe the result. Is that always the way you've been, or is this something you've developed and realized that's a better approach for you?
yeah, it's just finding what works best for, you know, an athlete. Some guys need to get hyped up and slapped around before they go out there and angry and stuff like that. And that, you know, I'm not one of those guys, you know, so I'm a very analytical minded person. And yeah, I mean, I think I'm just really at peace with the result will be whatever it'll be, you know, like I don't have any pressure on myself out there. I'm doing everything by my choice. So, I choose to do this, like, you know, nerves wise and stuff. I don't really feel anything because it's just, if it's a win, great. I've said it many times before. If it's a win, great. If it's a 7th, okay, you know, we keep working. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just something that's developed over the past few years.
For you, Chase, we actually saw bike changes after the sight lap in the second moto. Did you know when the gate dropped exactly what you were going to have? Because that seems like a pretty late time to make a move like that.
Yeah, we we did a big change after the first moto with the bike and the shock. So went and I did the sight lap. And I'm like, to be honest, I was like racing the sight lap to get back to the start gate because I'm like, we got to make changes. This ain't gonna work for 30 minutes. So, I mean, I knew kind of what it was gonna do. It's not like we did anything internally. We just kind of adjusted the ride height of the bike, and it was quite a bit better. So I'm glad we did it. I was actually putting my own. I put the fuel in the bike by myself. I was helping Kyle because he was doing the forks and stuff like that. So I was fueling up the bike, spilled gas everywhere on my hands, on the seat. So I don't know. I probably shouldn't touch bikes, to be honest. But no, it was, yeah, I kind of knew what I was getting. I just didn't know how big of a change it was going to be, kind of thing.
And just talk about the battle. You had some parts of the track you were really good, and then other parts Jett would get close to you. This track is so difficult. I'm sure it never gets to the point where you're just sending it. You got to think your way around. So how are you managing gaps, trying to go as fast as you can, trying to figure out lines with the guy behind you, and all those things happening at speed?
Like I said earlier, I think for me today, like, this track is so technical and so rutted that you have to kind of race the track instead of racing your opponents. It's kind of like just focusing on hitting your lines, and that was kind of my thing. Second moto, I knew that I was faster. I just had to stick to my lines and kind of not make any mistakes, which I did. But yeah, we went by it back and forth a few times. He was a little bit faster in the back section in those ruts. I was a little bit more patient, and then on this side of the track, actually where I fell the first time, that triple, I was pretty fast before there. So yeah, just kind of picking your marks. But to me, I was racing the track and kind of just focusing on my own lines. So that was the biggest thing today.
Hi, I'm Sophie. My question is for Chase. I heard you say, well, we all heard you say different things about trying to get your bike setup figured out since this is your first year on KTMs, whether that's, you know, the difference in the steel frame or whatever it is. Can you talk about how you feel with your bike setup now that we're 4 rounds into the series and you've had some experience on different types of dirt throughout these 4 separate tracks?
It's always changing, but yeah, I feel pretty happy with it. I went back to Florida this week and I was not riding good, so we ended up switching the bike for the track in Florida. And I came here, I'm like, that first moto, that bike was not good. So I was like scrambling, like, do we go back to what I was racing before? So we kind of split the difference, went halfway in between what I was on prior to this weekend, or no, yeah, the last 2 races. So it's kind of like a guess and test kind of thing. I'm like I said, I'm not super familiar with the track or the bike outdoors, but it is, yeah, we're always just kind of trying to get better. And I think second moto, we found some stuff that was good. Like I said, we're kind of in between what I was on before and what I was on in Florida. So, yeah, we'll go back to work. But yeah, in Florida this week, I was all over the place. I was not riding very well and kind of just a mess. So, yeah, go back to Florida, figure out what I got to do, and come back swinging.
Thank you. And then Hunter, my next question is for you. It's kind of similar. Obviously, this is your first year on 450s outdoor. Can you talk about your bike setup, and are you borrowing some settings from 450s last year here, or are you borrowing settings from your 250 last year here, or what are you doing for that? Because I know that it's going to be a little bit different on 250 versus 450.
Yeah, no, the bike's really good. You know, me and Jett are on the same deal. So it's the only thing different is the pilot and the bar setup. So yeah, it's good. We know it works well. Obviously, look back to last year. It's really good. The first 2 weekends, we kind of struggled with just new parts and stuff, just due to, you know, manufacturers making getting rid of an old batch of parts and making new ones and stuff. And we were just, it wasn't working, and we're in the season, so you kind of don't have time to R&D stuff, So we just did that, and it's been good. Nothing really from the 250 translates as much to the 450. I wouldn't say, it's just she's a beast, the old girl. So it's a lot to hold on to out there.
Thank you.
Mitch Kendra from Racer X. Hunter, we'll go with you here. I think it was your first moto win in the 250 class came here in 2019. You won the overall, I think, here last year. Obviously, 2022, you were battling with Jett, excuse me. When you come into a track, like obviously the Supercross results were progressing and you were riding well, you've been riding well this summer, but did you have like an extra pep in your step knowing you had the red plate this weekend? And like, does that make the week-to-week process a little bit easier? And kind of just talk about that.
Yeah, not really. I mean, it's just, again, learn from, previous mistakes. I look back at Southwick 2022, coming in with the red plate, and, Jett we had the engine issues in Red Bud the week prior, and I was like, let's go and smash it. Let's take advantage of this, and it just didn't work out. I overrode and just had a terrible day. So no different for me today than any other day, whether the plate's red, gold, or purple or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just got to go right. Try and keep it as long as I can, obviously, but just not another normal day. Don't change what's been working. So.
And then how do you balance, like you said, the different parts and things are changing and results and you're fixing stuff, but how do you balance like riding what's working during the week, and then I guess how do you manage that, looking for the improvement but not going the wrong direction during the week?
Well, once you find something that works pretty good at races, you kind of just go, hey, maybe if it's not the best at the practice track, but you trust it at the race weekend, you just kind of suck it up, honestly. Like, deal with it at the practice track and you just get more in tune with that motorcycle. So, bike's in a good place right now.
And then just one quick one for Chase. Obviously, the crashes in the Moto 2, you're not pumped about that, but you said you're riding well. The results are still pretty solid. I guess what's your initial reaction like coming off the track? I'm sure you're frustrated, but, do you just internalize everything and, like you said, kind of go from there? Kind of what's, just are you thinking about, like, what you're going to change for next week? I guess where's the, where are you at mentally after the race is finished?
I was definitely pissed off when I came off the track initially, but I kind of just had to take the positives from that race. Obviously, I was riding well. Stuff was coming to me pretty easily, and had just that one mistake that threw it away, obviously. So, for me, like I said, I don't really need to change much as far as like riding and stuff like that. I just need to kind of just reset and come back for Southwick and the rest of these races. So, honestly, that's kind of it for me. I just need to kind of forget about that one. Not forget about it, but work on my mistakes and then kind of just, reset. That's the biggest thing.
All right. Anybody else? I think that's probably going to wrap us up. No, Jett, just to let you guys know, we had drug testing going on post-race today. So Jett still getting hung up in that. And they got some flights to catch, etc. So, hey, thank you guys for coming out. That is going to wrap things up for our 450 Pro Moto post-race press conference. We'll take a week off. We'll see you at Southwick.